Gray and Juvia go on a date in Fairy Tale, only not really, but kind of. So Gray is on the continent of Jiltana and runs into the celebrity guild of Fairy Nail, where there's all kind of doppelgangers from Fairy Tale. If you're curious about that, I talk about it in a previous video. I'll leave a link for it below, including a Juvia lookalike named Juvina, who's a topless dancer. Yep, you heard that right. So Gray and Juvina run into each other, mistaking one another for their lookalikes. Gray mistaking Juvina for Juvia, and Juvina mistaking Gray for his lookalike, Glenn. Juvina offers to show Gray a sneak peek at her line of work, if you know what I mean, but instead it's Gray who ends up stripping for her out of habit, which surprised her. It's like using an Uno reverse card on your opponent. Then he gets into this whole conversation with her about her profession and if it's embarrassing to her, and I can only imagine he's probably already thinking of a million other ways she can make a better living, but nah. To Juvina, it's a job that she genuinely enjoys, and that's good enough to her. This is when we really start to see how much Gray cares for Juvia too, because Juvina starts questioning the relationship of this Juvia with Gray and if he loves her, but at the moment he's too flustered to really admit anything and just plays it off as their relationship not being like that, even though we all know that's not true. Juvina is fast as fuck. As soon as she hears that, she's like, sweet, let's go on a date. I wonder how the love rival sense of Juvia would go when she realizes that's her exact lookalike that went on a date with her man. I'd love to see a glimpse of what that would be like. Juvina and Gray have a great time on this date, by the way. They're doing all sorts of things like dinner, shopping for clothes, stripping, and I mean strictly from Gray, and just hanging out together, enjoying each other's presence, already bonding like friends that's known each other for a while. Towards the end of their date, Gray and Juvina dive into a discussion about the complex relationship dynamics between Juvina and Gray's lookalike, Glenn. Juvina starts expressing her frustration with Glenn's apparent lack of interest in her, despite her continuous attempts to catch his attention. She feels disheartened by the cold reception she receives from Glenn, much like Juvia's persistent pursuit of Gray, who often fails to match her desired level of attention. When Juvina remarks that it would be preferable if guys were more transparent about their feelings towards her, even if it meant expressing dislike, this is what catches Gray and makes him react, mistaking Juvina's words for Juvia's. Like seriously, he really thinks it's Juvia for a second. He interrupts her and assures her that he doesn't hate her, unintentionally revealing his true feelings about Juvia. So Gray opens up and confesses that he deeply cares for Juvia, but he believes that he isn't the right person for her at the moment because he doesn't consider himself good enough. The next part, they wrap up the conversation, and remember Juvina's profession, right? Well, let's just say she flashes Gray on the house, to his surprise, blessing his day. You want to hear the fucked up part about that though? Juvina actually made up the whole thing with her and Glenn. Not a single thing was true about that. In fact, Glenn and Juvina, these two are actually a couple, and she's not even a topless dancer, which means she must have been really feeling Gray to flash him just because. Or maybe in her own way, that was her method to try and get Gray to act on finally confessing his feelings towards Juvia in her own twisted method. Juvina also reveals that she had overheard a conversation between Urza and others discussing Gray and Juvia, and sensed that Juvia was feeling saddened by their situation. And as a good Samaritan, and motivated by a desire to help, Juvina decided to guide Gray towards acknowledging his feelings for Juvia and expressing them openly. At this point, just playing Cupid, and you know what? Shout out Juvina, because that's a good plan. And you know what? Yeah, Juvina's plan has some success, as Gray did admit his feelings earlier, and now realizes that Juvia won't always be waiting for him. Although Gray acknowledges that Juvia's determination to pursue him may be relentless, he understands that at some point he's got to take action and stop steering this poor girl wrong by not doing anything about it. He realizes the importance of building his self-confidence and becoming a man who can consistently protect and cherish Juvia, approaching the relationship with his head held high. The end of the chapter, Gray is on a train with friends and is still thinking of Juvia and actually can't wait to see her again. So it's nice to see this relationship building more and more, especially from Gray, because we already know what type of time Juvia on for Gray. So it's only a matter of time before they end up happy together like Gagio and Levi. After that, we can finally work on Natsu and Lucy, even though that's gonna be a whole lot tougher in my opinion with who Natsu is by nature and how it never seems he's got those kind of feelings for Lucy with how much he just goofs off. But it's part of the charm of Nalu, I guess. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please like the video if you enjoyed. Let me know who your favorite shipping is in Fairy Tail. Let me know if you want to see Natsu and Lucy hook up already. Do you think that it's perfect that we're waiting this long? And how much longer until we see Gray and Juvia actually become a couple? I'll catch y'all on the next one.